During the 12 weeks, you're building the foundation, giving yourself a solid ground to stand on. Without that, you can't build the house. I think so many people in life try to build the house without the foundation, without the planning, without the hard work. And the 12 weeks is about building the foundation. And I'd say my post experience is about building the house, right? You're never done. You're never done. There's always something you could do. Always an interior design thing that you could tweak. There's always something that you could do. You're always getting better. To anyone that's thinking about it, anyone that's on the fence about whether to go through the protocol, build your foundation. Invest in yourself. Let Coach P swim with you in the deep, dark ocean. Let him help you navigate life. Let him build that foundation with you so you can build your house. My name is John Tallis, and I'm a 27-year-old real estate broker in Dallas, Texas. I've struggled with anxiety and OCD for as long as I can ever imagine, and I was not in a place that I wanted to be. And the analogy that I always use, and the analogy that I use with Coach Lamar, is I was behind a glass door, behind a glass window, in a box that I can see through, but I can't get out. You can see everything that's going on, but you can't get there. You can't get from A to B. And that's a frustrating feeling because you want to get there. You can feel it, you can almost taste it, but you can't get there. You can't feel that day and day. You can't be present. And that's what I felt for so long. I wasn't confident in who I was. I didn't look people in the eye. I didn't speak with authority. I was living for other people, and my friendships were a bargain agreement as opposed to a true connection. But I don't want to fool you and say that I started looking up the protocol because of the mental, right? Because what started me off was, oh, okay, I'm gonna get in great shape. I'm gonna be in a great, I'm gonna get my nutrition in order, right? And that was really where it started, right? That was the inspiration for me in the beginning. I wanted to look cut. I wanted to look big. I wanted to be confident in my body. But little did I know that was just going to be icing on the cake, because the mental part was the bread and butter of what I did over 12 weeks and what Coach Lamar's led me to. And that glass has been completely broken. I always thought that this is the way that I was supposed to be, right? I was supposed to be this person who bargained and became someone that always had to try for other people to like them. I always thought that my body type was a body type that just couldn't get cut. I held a little bit more fat, or I'm just predisposed to be an anxious person. That's just who I am, right? All those thoughts have been broken. It's really interesting because in week 1, you make your goals. I don't want to give anything away, but you make your goals, right? And as I flip back, I have my journal here, and as I flip back to week 1, it was almost impossible to create goals, right? Because you're creating goals from the wrong headspace. They're ones that you don't even truly believe that you can get to. They're this pie in the sky that you may or may not even believe. And I sure did not believe the things that I thought I could get to, that I wrote down, but all those were broken and I got there. The most eye-opening part of learning about nutrition, learning about fitness was, and I've always been a lifter, right? I've always been someone who's gone to the gym. I tried to eat healthy. I did keto for about 2 years, or what I thought was keto. I was eating no carbs, wasn't tracking proteins, eating anything that I could that was not carbs, right? And I've come to realize that's not true keto. But I was so emaciated to the point where I had no muscle on my body. No muscle, also no fat, but I didn't look good. So going back to what I had previously said, I didn't ever think I could get to the body that I really wanted, right? So the most eye-opening experience for me was that nutrition doesn't have to be restricted. Yes, you're eating your macros, right? But if you have one day where it doesn't go as planned, or one meal that doesn't go as planned, it doesn't have to be restrictive, and it's not gonna blow up the whole situation. That was something that blew my mind, because I've always thought that in order to get the body that I semi-wanted, because like I said, I couldn't ever even fathom getting to the body that I wanted, it had to be spot on, and if I took one day off, the whole thing was ruined. So my weight in the beginning was 176 pounds and 20% plus body fat. I think I was 21% body fat. And I'm 5'9", so not necessarily cut. Did I look terrible? No, but did I look like where I wanted to be? Absolutely not. And so at 176 and 20% plus body fat, I dropped at the end of the 12 weeks to 154 pounds, 6% body fat. I smile thinking about it just because it's given me the ability to love who I am, love my body. I think we always talk about is the mental and the physical and the nutrition all have to be one in order to truly unleash your full manhood, your full power, your full potential. In terms of my maxes, I increased just about 100 pounds in max weight total across deadlift, bench, and squat, and I increased about 6 pounds of lean muscle mass over 12 weeks. my post experience after the 12 weeks, and it's really interesting because I would message Coach Lamar and say, hey, after the protocol, the reality of the situation is you're never out of the protocol, right? You're once in the protocol, always in the protocol, and you're just done with the 12 weeks. And this is something that really made me realize what I was doing, right? The 12 weeks is a foundation. It's like building a house, right? You can't build a house without a foundation, right? It's the foundation for the rest of your life. And I would say my post experience has been building the house, right? During the 12 weeks, you're building the foundation, giving yourself a solid ground to stand on. Without that, you can't build the house. I think so many people in life try to build the house without the foundation, without the planning, without the hard work. And the 12 weeks is about building the foundation. And I'd say my post experience is about building the house, right? You're never done. You're never done. There's always something you could do. Always an interior design thing that you could tweak. There's always something that you could do. You're always getting better. So I'd say my post experience is this is my new norm. It's giving me the ability to help others as well, right? Others, in terms of lifting, in terms of working out, in terms of nutrition, in terms of mentally, because I'm in a place where I love myself, I love who I am. Not in a cocky way, but it's just in a place where I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm able to give others better advice, better truth, and give others the ability to kind of springboard into a better life for them. So my routine's been spot on, right? I couldn't be happier with where I am physically, mentally, nutritionally. I don't feel like I'm living for others. I don't feel like I can't get to the body that I want. I don't feel like I'm not eating right. I could be more grateful for this because without the guidance of Coach Samar, I wouldn't be where I am. And I messaged him before, and I told him, hey, as I was writing my script, I was tearing up a little bit, really. And it's because of the ability to change my mindset from where I was to where I am. And you'll never understand the magnitude unless you go through it yourself. The habits and practices were very, very interesting and something that I didn't really understand, at first, and why we were doing it. Not that I was, I don't want to do this, but I was more, this is interesting. I wonder why we do this, right? So the fasting protocol, what we do on Sundays is, we fast from the last meal that you ate on Saturday until 24 hours later. The fasting protocol was so hard at first. You're sitting there starving, your stomach's turning, you're not in a place where you're fully energized. That's at first, but then it was something I looked forward to. I wanted to continue to fast on Sundays post 12 weeks, and that's exactly what I do, right? And on Sundays, it gives you the ability to clear your mind between your ears, right? It gives you the ability to focus on things that aren't material, or I should say immaterial, like Instagram, like Snapchat, like your phone in general. I think the fasting protocol is less about food and more about fasting from things in our daily life that distract us, things that don't matter. Like I said, like the Instagram, like the social media. And work, don't get me wrong, definitely matters. But for one day, you take the time and don't work and you focus on yourself, because you're the first thing that matters. You're the only thing that matters. Without yourself, work doesn't matter. And so you have to work on yourself first. And I think that's what the fasting protocol is about. But I think until you go through a fast of the things that don't matter, like Instagram, like Snapchat, like your phone in general, right? I think that gives you the true perspective of what the fasting protocol is about. I talk about the no phone situation on Sundays, but I truly have given myself the perspective that people are on their phones too much. I'm aware of when you look out and you're in the elevator, everyone does this. You get in the elevator, you press the button, and everyone goes, yep, looks around, they're a little awkward, and they're like, and then the door opens, like, cool, sounds good. Before the protocol, that's exactly what I did. I was one of the minions. That's exactly what I did. I was one of the pack, right? And post 12 weeks, I am chatting up each and every person in the elevator. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how's your day going? Trying to be uncomfortable, doing something uncomfortable every single day. And I think the fasting protocol really helped me get there. My sleep has changed so much as well. I've given myself the ability to go to bed at 9, get 8+ hours of sleep. At first, you're forcing yourself to go to sleep. First, you're like, I'm not tired, I can't go to sleep. You look at your phone for 2 hours before you go to bed. You get in bed at 9, you look at your phone for 2 hours. That's what I did at first, right? And I'm a little embarrassed to say it, but that's exactly what I did because I couldn't fall asleep. And then it turned into me going to bed at 9 and enjoying it. It's so helpful. Then I went right to bed, right? There's scientific fact that you're not supposed to look at your phone within an hour before you go to bed. bed. That's something that was so eye-opening for me because I'm sitting there on my phone, digging in, connected to the world, trying to consume information that didn't matter, as opposed to working on myself, right? And I think it was more about going to bed and ending your day the right way as opposed to always being connected. And going to bed early is not only about that, but it's about recovery. It's about testosterone. It's about giving yourself the ability to grow, giving yourself the ability to recover. Going to bed at whatever time and getting 8+ hours of sleep truly gave me the ability. I like to call it the foundation in the foundation. It was the studs, the boards. It gave you the ability to build your foundation, right? It was your foundation of the foundation, because without sleep, you weren't able to grow. Without sleep, you weren't able to eat right and make it count. You could eat the right things, but you weren't going to digest it and make it count in the right way. If you don't get 8 hours of sleep, you can't be your best mental self. My experience with the coaching calls, better than I could ever imagine, right? Like I said in the beginning, it was the bread and butter of the 12 weeks, right? It was what gave me my push going forward. It changed my life. It did. It really did. Coach P changed my life, and it gave me the ability to live. It was the best part of every single week, and talking to Coach P and him telling you how to help yourself was the best part of my week. And looking back on my journal, those are the best days that I have. The coaching calls, like I said in the beginning, this is really interesting because it gave me the ability to be at point A, and I'm very, very intense about this because it makes so much sense and because it changed my life. Point A is a place where you start, and point B is a place where you want to go. Coach Samar got me from point A to point B in a straight line. I went to therapy for I would say 18 years. Not one therapist or one person has ever told me how to do that. They'd say, "Oh, but let's do some mindfulness. Let's do some." And don't get me wrong, therapy has its time and place. It really does. But it was, let's talk about why you're at A. Let's talk about the situation. Let's talk about why you're feeling the way you're feeling. But they not once told me how to get from point A to point B in 18 years. 18 plus years, right? I'm 27 years old now. It was longer than 18 years. In 12 weeks, he gave me the ability to get from point A to point B, right? And he got me there. I'm not believing the false narratives. I think that the difference between victims and victors is perspective and approach. I was validating myself through others' approval, as opposed to being who I am, being confident in who I am, loving who I am. I dictate the narrative. False narratives don't dictate. Coach P took that glass, removed it, and gave me the rest of my life back. And I'm forever in debt to Coach P for that. And I'm so animated about it because of the way that I feel post 12 weeks. And he changed my life, absolutely changed my life. And to anyone that's thinking about it, anyone that's on the fence about whether to go through the protocol, build your foundation, invest in yourself. Let Coach P swim with you in the deep, dark ocean. Let him help you navigate life. Let him build that foundation with you so you can build your house. What excites me most about my life post 12 weeks is that I'm looking ahead. I'm no longer looking back and saying, what if? I'm no longer giving myself grief for not being present for the past 18 years because of anxiety. I'm no longer looking back and saying, I want to recapture my youth. And it's truly opened up my life. It's opened up my relationships. And I'm looking forward to me in 6, 9, 12 months, me in 6, 9, 12 days. And I'm telling myself, because I'm getting better every day, that tomorrow's gonna absolutely crush because I'm learning today. The biggest change about me is that, obviously the physique, but I think my presence is, I would say, the biggest thing that has changed about me. I'm truly present. I walk into a room and, I command the room, I command others' attention, and I'm no longer shying away. I'm no longer living for others, and I'm giving myself the ability to truly live. The way that I am right now and the way that I'm speaking would never have happened 12 weeks ago. Never have been talking with the fluency. I would never have been looking, someone in the eye. I never would have been truly confident in who I was enough to even have this conversation. I'm looking ahead. I'm no longer looking back, right? To someone who is on the fence about joining the protocol, build your foundation. Let Coach P navigate the wild ocean of life with you and open up those eyes to who you truly are, to what you truly can become, because it's in there, right? God made everybody with the ability to do it. It's just a matter of, can we get there? And Coach P is unlocking those traits and those attributes in men and it's changed my life.